For me, soccer is really mental, and it's always a challenge. It's a constant thought process, always thinking hard about what would be the best strategy to prevent the other team from scoring.
In the fall of 2009, Claire Pinciero was a college freshman who was looking forward to her first season with the Princeton University soccer team. Claire realized that college athletics offered an opportunity to push herself to meet and overcome challenges, mentally and physically, in the classroom and on the field.
It's the most physically and mentally exhausting game, but after you've done well, it's like you feel like a sense of serenity.
The season was just underway when Claire suddenly found herself facing a new set of physical and mental challenges when she suffered a concussion during a preseason scrimmage.
Immediately after I got hit, I just remember having no idea where I was. I was so confused.
Like Claire, Ben Chappell was excited to have an opportunity to play college sports. As the starting quarterback for the Indiana University football team, the fifth-year senior was, at the time, enjoying a good sophomore season when he suffered a concussion in a heated conference game.
I ran the ball, was trying to score a touchdown. The guy just kind of hit me pretty much right on the button.
Chappell takes a big hit at the 6-yard line.
The next thing I remember is the trainer coming out, asked me if I was okay.
Chappell coming off the field under his own power, but obviously not himself at the moment after that hit.
Concussions can happen at any time, to any player, at any position, in any sport. Whether the symptoms are serious or mild, a concussion is an injury that should always be addressed right away and should always be taken seriously.
Don't cover up or try to hide your symptoms. The earlier you report them, the sooner that we can take care of you properly.
Honesty in the short run may keep them out a little bit, but in the long run it's going to keep them much healthier and it's going to give them a much longer career when they play.
Any student athlete knows that injuries are part of any sporting activity. Collisions can cause bruises, sprains, or broken bones. Like these injuries, a concussion can have an immediate, negative impact on an athlete's ability to continue to perform well on or off the field.
The real true mechanism of a concussion is related to acceleration and rapid deceleration. It's where you get a sudden change in forces, so anything that will provide a sudden stop can cause a concussion.
A concussion is a brain injury that is caused by a blow to the head or body from contact with another player, from hitting the playing surface, or being hit with a piece of sports equipment. Concussions can change the way your brain normally works and can range from mild to severe. These injuries can present themselves differently for each athlete, and they can happen in any playing circumstance in any sport.
We know that when a player has a brain injury, they tend to have difficulties with memory, particularly short-term memory. They have difficulty with how quickly they process information, how well they can think through problems, how well they can analyze problems, and how they put those all together. We know that those different aspects of brain functioning are affected in concussion. One of the key issues that we must deal with is making sure that when we return a player to play, that player is no longer having symptoms.
In order to recognize if you have a concussion, it is important that each student athlete understands the possible symptoms.
First thing you should do if you suspect a concussion is not minimize what you're feeling. Those symptoms should be reported to your medical staff at your university as soon as possible.
So I don't remember getting hit, but I think I was visibly confused and something obviously was wrong.
For Claire Pinciero, the symptoms of her concussion appeared mild at first, and then grew more severe in the hours and days that followed.
I had this constant headache, and it was basically just a migraine all the time. I was really sensitive to light and noise. My spatial awareness was really off.
It's important when you're dealing with athletes that have injuries. They're so accustomed to playing through pain. If they have an ankle sprain, they're used to getting taped up and going back into play. I think with concussion, what's important is that they need to understand how important it is that they have to be 100% before they can go back.
Claire did not lose consciousness, but the symptoms from her concussion affected practically every area of her life.
I couldn't work out because it would raise my blood circulation and go to my head, and I couldn't really listen to loud music, so I couldn't be with my friends. I couldn't really watch TV because that would hurt my eyes. which would hurt my head, and I couldn't play soccer, obviously. And school was really tough. It was really hard for me to read. I had to read at like 20-minute intervals, and then even during then, it would just be such a bad pain.
Like Claire, Ben Chappell did not lose consciousness, but his collision with another player caused his concussion. Team athletic trainers led him off the field immediately.
Initially, I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't feel different at all. I think it was once I got off to the sideline, when the doctors really started asking me questions, that I realized that, something wasn't really right.
Ben's athletic trainers administered a typical sideline evaluation, the first of several important steps in the proper diagnosis and treatment of a concussion.
If an athlete presents to the medical staff with symptoms of a concussion, or an athlete is brought to the attention of the medical staff that they might be experiencing a concussion, we will first want to remove them from play to get a good assessment.
They took me through the whole concussion questions, like, can you say the months backwards, the alphabet, start with this letter and continue through this one. I think the doctor gave me 3 words to remember when we walked into the locker room at halftime.
It's very important to be honest and upfront. If we can treat your concussion properly from the start, there's a real opportunity to get those signs and symptoms to clear faster and for your concussion injury to resolve quicker.
It's important for players and teammates, as well as coaches, to work in concert with athletic trainers and team physicians to identify and treat concussions as soon as possible.
Coaches need to be able to identify that an injury has occurred, and then to get that athlete with an athletic trainer, with a physician, with a neuropsychologist, where sound medical decisions can be made.
The time for a concussion to heal varies for each athlete. Ben was back on the field within a couple weeks. Claire was out for the season. However, both are now healthy and playing at 100% because both left the game immediately and received the proper medical help they needed right away. In most concussion cases, athletes can return to play with no lingering symptoms.
About 90% of concussions will resolve in terms of their symptoms within a week, but 10% don't resolve within a week. If an individual is playing still symptomatic from a previous concussion and receives another blow to the head, is that the combined effects will exacerbate the initial concussion symptoms and may prolong it a great deal, so that one has many more symptoms, they're more severe, and they last a great deal longer. It is very, very not smart to play with any post-concussion symptoms. You're risking permanent life-altering problems.
You want to be in there for your teammates and do the best you can, so I think that pressure is definitely real, but if you're not 100%, then you're probably going to do more damage to your team than good.
Concussion's a serious injury, just like if you tore your ACL or broke your arm. It's different because you can't see it. You can't see your cast or your brace or anything like that, but it's important that you get the help from your doctors because it could have some serious symptoms.
If you feel that you or one of your teammates is suffering from symptoms of a concussion, play it smart. Don't hide it. Report it to trained medical staff immediately and get checked out. Then take the proper time to recover. Remember, it's better to miss one game than the possibility of missing an entire season or career. When in doubt, get checked out.